So as you can see, Darla here pulls a lot on leash. When she came in with this Easy Walk harness on, and the whole point of the harness is supposed to be to prevent pulling or discourage pulling, but you can see even with that, she can pull right through it, and she's really disengaged on walks, looking around for squirrels and birds and everything instead of focusing on us. So the first thing that we're going to do to kind of address this pulling and make walks more comfortable is we're going to switch her out to a prong, which I've already fitted. We're using a small gauge with her, and they should be fitted snug and high on the neck. So we've already gone ahead and fitted her for that. And now what we're going to do is start introducing it to her. So we're going to get her used to the pressure and release of the collar, how it feels, what pressure on the collar means, teaching her how to turn the pressure off, and that's all going to go into teaching her how to walk politely in a heel next to us. And Darla here too is a bit of a nervous, anxious dog. So a big misconception is a lot of times people think, prong collar should only be used with really aggressive dogs. She does have some dog aggression, but a lot of it comes from fear and anxiety, new situations, even just really sudden movements. If I was to move too fast right now, it would startle her. You'd see her tail go right between her legs, which is already in a low position. So they're not collars that are just for super aggressive dogs or super high active dogs. They can also be used on anxious dogs, nervous dogs. They can help all of them. They're an absolutely wonderful tool. They're super gentle. You're going to see less tension and less pulling on the prong than even with her Easy Walk harness, which is why we prefer using the prong collar with a majority of the dogs that come into training. So we're going to start off with some crazy man method to start to teach her the prong collar and how it feels. Much. So let me explain a little what's going on. So what we want to get her used to is the feeling of if she's out ahead of us pulling or too far out to the side or behind us, there's going to be just a little bit of tension on the leash, and the way the prong's set up, 99% of the time it's loose, so you're just going to see the chain lane flat, and when we apply a little bit of tension or pressure, it's going to pop up into this triangle. So when she gets out of the heel position, we want her ideally in heel, which is right next to her side. Her shoulder should line up with our leg. If she moves out of that position, we're just going to apply a fingertip's worth of pressure. Very, very tiny. I was doing it right then, and you may not have been able to see it, so go back and watch it, and I'll go and do it again, so you'll see just the tiniest bit of pressure that this just pops up into the triangle, a tiny little bit. That gets her attention. You'll see her looking at me and coming back to me, and when she does that, I release it, and that's when I'm going to praise her, good girl, and let her know that that's what we want. So that way she's learning, hey, when I'm next to your side, everything's loose and comfortable and relaxed. If I start moving too far away from you or I'm not focusing on you, then that's when I'm going to feel some pressure on the leash. And so what we do a lot of times, she's not too bad. She's actually catching on really quick. But when we have a new dog, we'll do the crazy method. So we're going to start walking in a direction. As soon as they get out of the heel position, we're going to turn and go the opposite way and apply a little bit of that pressure on the collar. As soon as they come back to us, good job. And as long as they stay in heel, we're going to keep moving the same direction. So we're going to do that a little bit more with her, and I'm going to show you how we transition that into a walk. Come on, Darla. Good girl. see she's going to start to anticipate my movements. So as soon as I start turning, she's going to start turning as well. Without me applying any pressure. She's doing really well with the crazy man. She's catching on really quick and understanding the collar, what it means. Even with cars going back and forth behind us, she's still staying focused and responding, not getting too distracted or anything, which is great. So what we're going to start doing is start putting that into a walk. So now we're going to go like we're going on a normal walk, going in one direction. If she moves out of that heel position, we're going to apply a little bit of pressure and tension on the leash. When she moves back into the heel position, we're going to release it and praise her for that. And when you're on the walk, you want to remember that you want your leash short, but not tight. So I have a 6-foot leash here, but you'll see that I'm holding it about right here. So she only has this much slack, but you'll see when it's walking that it's loose. I should be able to swing my arms naturally like I do on a normal walk. Good girl, Darla. Without it pulling on her collar. So I should be able to swing, but she shouldn't have all this room that she can go out in front of me. So short, but not tight. We want it loose. Good girl. So again, we're going to walk with her, and then if she gets out in front of us, apply a little bit of that pressure, help guide her back into the heel position. When she's there, it should be loose, completely flat. You shouldn't see your little triangle at all. It should be sitting flat against her, and that's when you can praise her and tell her she's a good girl. Let's take this show on the road. Come on, Darla. Good. So you'll see right here, her shoulders are right next to my leg. My leash is short, but it's loose. You don't see that triangle popping up. I should be able to swing my arms naturally. What was I? Yeah. Good girl. Good girl. There you go. Now we have a dog that's starting to be more in tune. We still have a little bit of sniffing, but again, we just put her on this, so we don't expect her to be perfect yet. That's what we're going to work on cleaning up. But now she's right by our side. She's more engaged and in tune with what we're doing. Start working on stopping. Good girl.